Hello, and welcome to the Spinnaker Industries training program on AODA. Spinnaker Industries is committed to the highest level of customer service and employee health and safety. In order to meet our goals, everyone must play a role and express a commitment to promoting cultural health and safety to all levels of the organization. At Spinnakers, everyone has a role to do. There are no free lunches. Beginning with senior management, their job is to review and update the AODA policy and procedures annually and to apply changes. Provide staff with a training program on AODA plan, policies, and procedures. Provide employees with support for ongoing accessibility issues or concerns, and to provide sensitivity and awareness of persons with disabilities and treat them with respect and dignity. Your supervisors have an important job to do. They are to provide senior management assistance in reviewing the AODA policy, train staff on the AODA plan, policy, and procedures, identify areas of improvement and report recommendations to senior management, and to provide sensitivity and awareness of persons with disabilities and treat them with respect and dignity. Warehouse and office staff have an important job to do. They are to participate in the company's AODA training program, including a review of the plan, policies, and procedures, inform your supervisors of any areas of improvement, and provide sensitivity and awareness of persons with disabilities and treat them with respect and dignity. And of course, visitors. All visitors at Spinnaker Industries are expected to conduct themselves in a respectful manner and to treat all members with dignity and respect. Legislative requirements. AODA is an Ontario provincial legislation that outlines the requirements all workplaces must have in place for accommodating persons with disabilities. Under the Act, the accessibility standards may apply to persons or organizations that A. Provide goods or services or facilities, B. Employs one or more persons in Ontario, C. Offers accommodations, or D. Owns or occupies a building, structure, or premise. An accessibility standard shall A. Set out measures, policies, procedures, or other requirements for the identification and removal of barriers with respect to goods, services, facilities, buildings, or other such things that may be prescribed, and for the prevention of the erection of such barriers. B. Require the persons or organizations named or described in the standard to implement those measures, policies, practices, or other requirements within the time period specified in the standard. What is AODA? AODA stands for the Accessibilities for Ontarians with Disabilities Act. The purpose of AODA is to, firstly, achieve a fully accessible Ontario by 2025, develop accessibility standards, enforce those standards, and to apply the standards to all public and private organizations with one or more employees. The objectives. Understanding the purpose of AODA, learn how to interact and communicate with persons with disabilities, learn how to interact with people who use assisted devices, including service animals, learn how to communicate disruption in service, understand the purpose of the feedback process, ensure persons with disabilities are able to access services easily and provide high customer service, and to follow the ideals of dignity, independence, integrity, and equal opportunities for all. The Ontario Human Rights Act. The AODA policy does not replace the Ontario Human Rights Act, but works in addition to the Act. A person with a disability can file a complaint under AODA and the Ontario Human Rights Act. Any persons representing an organization can be named in a complaint and can be called to the Ontario Human Rights Tribunal. Your responsibilities at Spinnaker Industries must be taken seriously because it can lead to consequences. Who is a customer? Spinnaker has a long-standing commitment to providing accessibilities for its customers, members, and visitors with disabilities. Customer is a person or organization that buys goods or services from a store or other business. This includes people with disabilities. We are all customers and we are all consumers. What is customer service? Customer service is the assistance and other resources that a company provides to people who buy or use its products or services. Essentially, customer service is an attitude, not a department. Any interaction with a person during the course of your workday is customer service. The terminology. When referring to someone with a disability, it is important that you put that person first. It is a person with a disability, not a disabled person. Disability defined. Any degree of physical disability, malformation, disfigurement, including diabetes, epilepsy, a brain injury, paralysis, amputation, lack of physical coordination, blindness or visual impediment, deafness or hearing impediment, muteness or speech impediment. A condition of mental disorder or developmental disability or learning disability, or physical reliance on an assisted device or person. communicating with individuals with disabilities. Tools, technologies, or other mechanisms that enable a person with a disability to do everyday tasks and activities. The goal is to help the person to maintain their independence at home, at work, and in the community. Service animals. Service animals accompanying persons with disabilities are welcomed in all businesses unless the animal is excluded by law. If a service animal is forbidden by law, employees should ensure that the person is able to access our services with alternative assistance. A service animal may be a cat, dog, bird, monkey, or other animal, and it's important to know that these are working animals, not pets. Support persons. A support person assisting a person with a disability may be a paid volunteer, a paid professional, family member, or friend. The support person is there to assist their client with communicating, moving things around, or running errands. A support person will decide when it is appropriate for them to be addressed. Always talk to the customer, not to the support person. Physical disabilities include a range of functional limitations from minor difficulties in moving or coordinating one parts of the body through muscle weakness or paralysis. A physical disability may affect an individual's ability to perform manual tasks such as holding a pen, move around independently, control the speed or coordination of movements, reach or pull objects, or have strength or endurance. Assisted devices. Mobility devices such as wheelchairs, scooters, walkers, canes, or crutches, personal oxygen tanks, or support persons may all be used by people with physical disabilities. Customer service guidelines. Do not touch, move, or lean on a wheelchair or other mobility devices. This is part of a person's personal space. Keep ramps and corridors free of clutter. If the counter is too high or wide, step around to provide service. Provide seating for those who cannot stand in line. Speak to the customer, not to the support person, and be patient as some types of disabilities may take longer to understand and respond to. Mental health disabilities include a range of disorders. However, there are three main types of mental health disabilities. They include anxiety, mood, and behavioral. A person with a mental health disability may have difficulty with one or several or none of the above, including the ability to think clearly, hallucinate, depression or acute mood swings, poor concentration, and difficulty remembering things. Assist devices. Persons with mental health disabilities may need a support person. They may have also notes or lists that they will refer to when doing business. The customer service guidelines. Speak to the customer, not to the support person. Treat a person with a mental health disability with respect and consideration. Be patient as they think, speak, or check their notes. Be confident and reassuring. If they appear to be in the crisis, ask them what is the best way to help them. Do not touch them during this time. Don't interrupt or finish your customer's sentences. Wait for them to finish and ask open-ended yes or no questions. Disruptions in service. Under AODA, companies must provide a person with a disability advance notice should any planned or unplanned disruption of service occur. How to provide notice? Spinnaker will post in writing at all entrances and at the point of disruption a notice of disruption. Where possible, Spinnaker will provide notice to persons with disabilities over the phone and post information on the company's website. The feedback process. Under AODA, companies must implement a process to provide persons with disabilities the opportunity to give feedback on the service provided to them. Spinnaker will use the AODA feedback form as a way of obtaining feedback. Additionally, other methods of feedback can be made through email or over the phone and redirected to the appropriate members. All persons with disabilities will receive acknowledgement of their feedback, along with any resulting actions based on the feedback received. It's important to note that not all feedback requires a response. A response will only be provided as required. Training. Under AODA, companies must provide workers training on its plan, policies, and procedures. Spinnaker offers AODA training to all members. Office staff will receive AODA training on the first day of work. A training card will be issued upon successful completion of the program. Warehouse staff. Due to high turnover, warehouse staff will be provided general AODA information during the orientation. A complete review of the program will only be made annually through a mandatory toolbox talk. Training cards will not be issued. Safety in an emergency. Under AODA, companies must have procedures for fire and other situations that must be adapted to include evacuations of people with disabilities. This includes check evacuation routes for obstacles where a wheelchair cannot pass. If a person is blind, offer your arm for guidance. If the person is deaf, you may have to write down instructions. At Spinnaker, all employees will undergo an orientation program that will include measures and provisions for an emergency evacuation. Additionally, this response will be simulated at least once a year to test the effectiveness of the program and employees' understanding of the process. If you have any questions about this or any other training program, please contact a member of senior management or your health and safety committee. Thank you and have a great day.